Welcome in. That's a tap with CT and DJ. We're talking about boxing today. Lots to happen. And DJ, great to be with you. How you feeling?
Feeling good, my man. Good to catch up. Let's talk about this five versus five in boxing versus Queensberry. The results were quite one-sided, but we'll get into that. But yeah, man. I know it's a couple of days removed from the event, but again, Riyadh, Saudi, putting up some great events. Let's not forget this was meant to be, the weekend where we got Bivol versus Better Beav as well, but that was not to be due to an unfortunate injury, and it's been rescheduled now for October, so all's well. But I was a bit skeptical in the beginning with this fight card going ahead. Apart from the Wilder fight, there weren't really much to look forward to in a sense in terms of big name or big stakes. But man, boy, was I wrong because each fight delivered, man, and there was tons of exciting things that happened throughout. Uh, you know, not a great night for the Wilder fans. Some upsets in there too. And some dominations as we tend to expect from certain fighters. So yeah, look, plenty to discuss. But yeah, what did you think of the event?
Look, I applaud the aim of the event, which was to draw a lot of eyes, maximum possible, big names. I thought it was cool. Like you said, the fights delivered. Obviously, a viral knockout with the main event. We'll talk about Deontay Wilder now and what it means for his future. But Big Bang Zhang, to me, that was the biggest thing to come out of this event.
Mhm.
Yeah, you said it was a whitewash as well. Yeah, I'll go through the scoring as well.
Yeah.
But obviously, yeah, 5v5. So those that don't know, there was six fights. The winner gets 2 points if it's a finish, 1 point if it's decision, right? So
Yeah.
it ended 10-0 with there being four knockouts and two decision wins. But
Yep.
DJ, start from the top, man. How did you see the main event?
Man, just when you say 10-0, it's just making me laugh. It just not a result that we expected. I just thought it was going to be like 50-50 with wins on both sides. I think Eddie Earn missed his star fighter, star boxer in Anthony Joshua, because he wasn't featured in this card. He fought not too long ago. Um, Yeah, man. Look, but before I get to the Wilder fight, like, so this was the bouts that took place in this five versus five and CT. Like you pointed out, while it's titled five versus five, there are actually six fights. So we got Deontay Wilder versus Zhilei Zhang. We had Daniel Dubois taking on Filip Ergovic, who was undefeated at the time, and a big heavyweight prospect. We had Dimitri Bivol, the superstar, the Russian superstar, versus Malik Zinad, who was a later replacement to um, Beterbiev. We had Willie Atkinson taking on Greg Richards, Hamza Giras versus Austin Williams, and Nick Ball versus Raymond Ford. So that made up the fight card. That made the six fights that made up this Matchroom versus DAZN card. There were four finishes across the card, and then there was also two decisions, one a split decision and one a unanimous one. The split decision one was quite controversial, could have gone either way. But again, the fight was so close that you just can't complain whichever way the decision went to. And it turned out that it went the other way. So leaving DAZN with no points at all to show at the end of the day. Yeah, man, like, look, it was sad sort of to see that Wilder fight. I had hopes for Wilder. I think going into the fight, he was saying all the right things. He said, "Look, if I don't win this fight, that's probably it for me because I need to see where I'm at. Right? I need to be able to hang with these big boys, the top dogs. And obviously, he came short against Parker, and then today was the other day was fighting Zhang. We know Zhang's a good boxer. He did lose to Parker, right? Parker's building his own impressive resume on the other side, man. Like, he's only lost to AJ, and that was a while ago, and he's been beating some. He's been doing really well, since. So anyway, um, we know both of these guys have that one big equalizer, which is that one big shot. It was just a matter of who lands when. Look, in Deontay Wilder's defense, he did land some good shots. Uh, but man, like Zhang landed a beautiful counter. Slipped one of Deontay's shots and came back with one of his own, which spun him around. And then he closed in for that kill shot. Um, Deontay Wilder did get up off the canvas, but it just didn't seem like it was all there. The referee rightfully called it off, and even the body language after the ref called it off was, it seemed like, Deontay had accepted that decision, that end, and he just seemed like, he just, he didn't seem like someone who was enjoying boxing. That's just what I felt. We've seen Deontay Wilder in the past, man. Even throughout the entire Fury trilogy, even though he lost the last two fights, he came with that fire. The second and third fight, he still fought with a lot of tenacity and ferociousness, which we've failed to see in the past two fights of Deontay Wilder. And we spoke about this off air. How much of him fighting Robert Helenius, in his comeback fight, and then knocking him out in devastating fashion impacted that killer instinct, because we are all, we all remember that press conference or post-fight press conference where he broke down in tears because Melanius is a very close friend of his, and obviously they know each other's families, and he just didn't. It seemed like it impacted him a lot, and the argument is that his killer instinct was lost since then, and we haven't seen him knock anyone out or impose himself like he used to, like the Wilder of old. What do you think, CD?
Yeah, man. I'm glad you pointed that out because we were talking about it just before, and obviously for the viewers that might not remember, there was a very vicious knockout, and the rawness that we saw, the state that Wilder was in after that fight. It wasn't normal for a fighter that wins.
Mm,
Normally, a fighter that loses in sort of devastating fashion, ponders their future, their family, their health, and all that, and is kind of rattled. But the winner is usually like, yeah, that's what's going to happen, and maybe they talk a little bit of trash, call out the
mm,
next future opponent. But for Wilder, it was kind of like a full circle moment where he was kind of acting like he was knocked out with just the body
yeah.
language, maybe
Mm,
not what he was saying, but
yeah.
that makes a lot of sense, like you said. And look, it's a vicious sport. It's not a
Yeah, man.
longevity sport, right? There are very few that are very fortunate to be around, and the greatest of all time, and those that have multiple chapters in a combat sports career, like your goats,
Yeah.
um, Ali's, and that went through ups and downs, but was right there fighting for a long time. And look, nothing but credit to Deontay Wilder for his career. If he does call it quits, he had
Mm,
a stint at the top, and no one ever stays on top for forever. And there's always the next hungry lion coming, the young
absolutely.
Clubber Lang, in Rocky, and then
Love it.
the young
Love
Dragos
it.
that we've got with Usyk right
Yep.
now. And that's
Yep.
why when you're the heavyweight champion of the world, you absolutely live it up. DJ,
Love it.
how do you see his career? If that is, by the way, we're not saying it's official,
Mm.
but what did he say?
I mean, look, I love the Rocky reference, by the way. But yeah, look, prior to the fight, he was saying, if this fight doesn't go my way, then that's it for me. That's just what he alluded to, and all signs point towards him winding down. I think we've seen his message from his mother as well, urging him to stop. He's done everything. I mean, again, man, Wilder's had a career that he can be extremely proud of, and he's accomplished a lot of things in this sport. And then it's very uh, for those who don't know, Wilder started this sport relatively late. He started at the age of 20, as opposed to some of the other, professional athletes. But the reason that he started was to support his sick daughter, which is very noble. And I think he's done that, man. He's done that and more. As he stands today, win or lose in this last fight, the career he's accomplished is amazing. And there was a time when Deontay Wilder was a very feared boxer. People were scared to go up against him, and let's not forget that. And even that first Fury versus Wilder fight. It was a very close fight, which could have gone, Wilder's way because he did have that devastating knockdown. Uh, and even in the third fight, he dropped Fury as well. So, man, this is a game of inches. Anything can happen. Yeah, we wish him all the best, and obviously thank him for all the great memories and he's provided us with. Um, but it brings that adds just more excitement to the heavyweight division as well with Zhang winning. Now there's this you're starting to get this sort of um, talent rich heavyweight division at the top with you got Parker, who's I think is a standout. I mean, you got the big names, right? Like, no, let's take Wilder out of it, but we've got we've got AJ, we've got Fury, we've got Usyk, and then now I think the next person in that category is Joseph Parker. I think he's probably the most he's been the most impressive heavyweight out of that group. We've had Zhang now bounce back. Another heavyweight who's doing extremely well, and we'll talk about him because that's the next fight, which is Daniel Dubois, right? Who also fought Usyk previously. Daniel Dubois is doing really well. AJ's on a win streak, so heavyweight division is looking very good in boxing. And Dillian White's on the sidelines. I'm sure he'll return soon. Joseph Parker's gunning for that fight. So yeah, man, like I think it's exciting times for boxing in general, but especially for the heavyweight division. So I think there's some fun matchups that can be made. Um, if I were to offer something, I would probably say Zhang maybe rematch Parker, right? They had that rematch. They had that rematch clause in there anyway. I think they just chose to abandon that to proceed with this fight. But yeah, look, rematch, Parker because it was a decision fight. Some argue that it was close. While that's happening, I'd like to see Dubois versus AJ. We have not seen that fight. It's an all Britain showdown. Field of Wembley or something, because Usyk and Fury are going to, go at it again in December. That's the end of the year. Clearly, or surely, AJ is not going to stay iced for that long, and Dubois just fought. I think that matchup makes sense. Um, and it could be that number one contender fight. The winner fights for undisputed. So yeah, and look,
Yeah,
let's not forget the fight between Ergovic and Dubois that just finished in the same card was that mandatory, which makes Dubois the mandatory now for that undisputed title.
yeah, man, and
Sorry, not the undisputed, the IBF. Sorry.
yeah, yeah, gotcha. And just a quick other word on Wilder. He was always an undersized heavyweight, and
Mm,
we look at that picture. Like there's some big boys come up with Fury with the wins he had. He was always a guy with the eraser, the amazing right hand, but he was
mm,
always giving up weight. And
yep,
in the heavyweight game, they don't teach size. The
yep.
just like other sports, it weighs on you when you're constantly fighting heavier guys.
Spot on, CD, 100%. Because even in this fight, there was a massive, I think, 50 to 60 pound weight difference. And you could see it in the ring. You could see the size difference. Zhang was imposing in there. So, yeah, look, it is what it is. Again, we salute Wilder and for all that he's done for the sport of boxing. So, yeah, amazing.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, and just what you said about Parker, I think he deserves more credit than what he's getting for
mm,
some second phase of his career now. After
correct.
losing to AJ and then clawing his way back, we see this viral video of him just chewing on raw fish, right out of the river.
Yeah, man, it's just nuts. So, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about the fish eating video, but in terms of his boxing, yeah, man, like he's never. I feel like he's never been better, and I think it's only going to get better. Hey, I wouldn't even mind him versus AJ. Let's trying to see if he can get that win back. That'll be an exciting fight. That'll be a very competitive fight. So yeah, look, either him or Dubois, it's very competitive. Or even Parker and Dubois, those three between themselves can. There's some exciting matchups there. But hey,
What
that
about
brings us to yeah. Sorry, go.
yeah, a couple of your favorites? What about Big Baby Miller and Pavetkin? No, I think
Uh,
I
it's-
think
I
Pavetkin
don't think
retired.
I think Povetkin's gone, but Big Baby Miller, I don't think is going to be fighting at the top of the division anytime soon, man. Like, I think the who did he fight? Like, he fought Dubois last, or not Dubois last, but that was a noteworthy loss. Yeah, there was a lot of trash talking, and Dubois handled business in stylistic fashion. So,
King Kong Ortiz against Tyson.
oh man, they're past their prime, man. I mean, look, we're talking about like prime fighters fighting each other. After you've had Usyk versus Fury, I don't think we can go back to those kind of matchups. You need has to be the best fighting the best. Like so, yeah.
But yes, actually, on that note, we have to give our thankfulness for His Highness.
Turkey old Sheikh, yeah, like putting up these fight cards, man. Even in the UFC, he's delivering some big cards. We've got a big fight coming up soon in Saudi Arabia, with our very own Aussie fighter. So yeah, look, pretty good, man. Like I think this guy has single-handedly revived boxing. So yeah, much respect to him. Yeah, look, that brings us to us. The next fight was the Daniel Dubois versus Filip Ergovic. Filip Ergovic was touted to be one of the toughest fighters matchups for anyone in that heavyweight division. He was undefeated prior to this. And a lot of people, to be honest, were expecting it to be a cakewalk for him, this fight. It was just an obligation that he was going to complete and then fight for that undisputed title. That's what everyone was believing. But man, did Dubois prove everyone wrong. He went in there, he outboxed him. Beautiful boxing. There were the case of Dubois' style is like a head first style, so he does clash heads a lot, and there was a lot of headbutts in there, which is a bit unfortunate. You do want to remove all controversy when in a big time fight like this, but man, still you cannot take away from how beautifully Dubois boxed. And man, rightfully got that stoppage. I think in the eighth round, he was able to stop Filip Ergovic. Yep, and by doing so, he captured the interim IBF heavyweight title. And yeah, look, and look, he did face some adversity in the beginning as well. And then, but he in a couple of rounds, and I believe in the third and between the first and the fifth round. So and he faced that adversity, came back, and yeah, had some good clean shots, and yeah, got it done, man. And Ergovic seemed quite exhausted as well as the fight progressed. But good win for Dubois. Cements him at the top there. Now he's mandatory for that title for Usyk. I know we've seen that fight again, so we don't know what will happen. If they choose to go Dubois versus AJ, that then brings out a clear number one contender while Fury and Usyk go at it again. And then the winner of that can, But the problem is, if Fury wins, that makes it 1-1. So we're going to see that a third time. You know what I mean? So we don't know. We'll see. But yeah, look, as it stands, assuming everything goes like Usyk wins, then the path is clear. If he doesn't, then there's a little bit more waiting, I reckon. So
Yeah,
we'll see.
great. Yeah, bring it on, DJ, because that would mean Fury's free to do that AJ fight eventually, and I think we're headed down that path. I think Usyk will probably win the rematch again, and I think Fury's career will start to not end, but it'll start to wind back a little, and he'll take on those that mega fight hopefully
Mega fights.
in England that the people want to
Yep.
see against AJ, because I think Fury's
Yeah.
lost it a little bit too, man. He was at the heights in
Mm.
those Wilder fights, but I think ever since the Ngannou one, it's just been
Mm.
too much of a layoff, too much,
Yeah, I think
talk.
the fact when you're an undefeated fighter, he had a draw next to his name, but he didn't have a loss. So when you're an undefeated fighter, no matter how mentally strong you are, it does play a part. And we're seeing that in Devin Haney right now. How much that's impacted him. Similarly, it may not impact Tyson Fury to that extent, but when you come in the best shape of your life, I mean, there was a lot of argument against this Ngannou fight and what went wrong and sort of where Fury's mind was at. But no one can argue against the fact Fury extremely in shape and had one of the best fighting camps, as per his words, coming into this. So when you do that, when you come in And when someone beats you and betters you, that does have that significant mental impact, especially with that ninth round where Usyk was able to do what he did and rocked Fury. Those images are going to be there. You open your Instagram, Fury opens his social media. It's probably something that he commonly sees. That video, that shot was circulated across. It shows how important and pivotal a moment can be. So yeah, look, if anyone can do it, it's Fury to come back from that. So let's see what his comeback journey is. But it is going to be that confidence factor is going to play a part in that rematch. Usyk was down for that rematch straight away. He said, "Yeah, let's go." So yeah, we'll have to wait and see how that goes. But I would like to think, as it stands at this very stage, given everything goes the same way, Usyk probably gets the win again. But we'll have to wait and see. Training camps could have a different impact. All these kind of things. So closer to the fight, we'll be able to sort of make a little bit more of an educated guess as to what could happen.
And I'm glad they pushed it back a little. Like December
Yeah,
is
yeah,
perfect so that Fury can have the best possible chance to get
mm,
revenge and get back the dub, because it's a pivotal crossroad
yeah,
of
man.
this of his career.
I was never a fan of that October rematch because one, it's too close, especially it's a big event. Not only is it exhausting physically, but mentally. And these guys had a long ass training camp for that. Because of all the delays, postponements, injuries, and to immediately go through that again is just even mentally, it's a little bit too much to handle. So I think that extra few months will definitely be helpful, beneficial. Um, but yeah, look, we'll probably wait and see um, what the outcome of that is.
Yep. And so, yeah, recapping the event, which
Yep.
was
So
a landslide.
yeah, absolutely. So another fight that contributed heavily towards the 10-0 score, and one of my personal favorite fights, and one of my favorite boxers, Dimitri Bivol. Originally slated to fight Artur Beterbiev, wasn't the case, unfortunately. We'll see that on the 21st of October, I believe. Fingers crossed. But Dimitri took on Malik Zinad, who was 22-1. And he obviously had a TKO finish, man. But it's just what continues to impress in Dimitri Bivol's performance is how technical he is, how technically sound he is, and his ability to turn it on when needed, his conditioning, his understanding, fight IQ, understanding of the game, how he changes gears. So many impressive aspects to his fight and fighting style. Sorry, man, it was very impressive. It was I believe, a sixth round. Let me just confirm that. Yeah, it's a sixth round technical knockout. Very good. People will argue, oh, look, it wasn't better. It was a last minute opponent, but so it was a last minute opponent for Bivol too. Like, he was preparing for someone different, and he had to fight someone else. And he wasn't someone just off the street. This guy was 22-1 and had 16 KOs to his name. And he did land some shots on Bivol as well, but again, like I said, Bivol was just too good. Some other fights that happened to recap, we had Hamza Shiraz stop Austin Williams in round 11. It was a WBC title eliminator. That was a very good fight. We also had who did we have? We had Nick Ball take on Raymond Ford, and that was the close fight that we were talking about. It went the whole 12 rounds, and it was a split decision win um, for Nick Ball. Uh, Actually, no, sorry. Yes, correct. Nick Ball got the win over Raymond Ford. Somewhat controversial. There was a lot of noise around that fight. And then we also had Billy Hutchinson beat Craig Richards in a dominating one-sided decision. This covered the whole entire 6 fights, which resulted in 10-0 for Queensberry, who won by a landslide. So it was a overall 2 decisions and 4 knockouts or stoppages, 1 technical knockout. So yeah, 4 stoppages and 2 decisions. resulting in that 10-0. Eddie Earn wouldn't probably be a happy camper after this. Yeah, look, boxing is like it's fighting. It's a game on the day who turns up. So you can always argue that. It doesn't necessarily mean that Eddie Earn's fighters are inferior in any way. It's just that's how it panned out on that day.
Yeah, it is quite still amusing, but yeah, it just happened that way. And obviously, as we said, yeah, Zhang had the weight over Wilder. Wilder didn't have great
Mm-hmm.
form coming in, and then yeah, the other guys took care of business. But out of this, I like the fact that it sets up things that I'm excited about in terms of Wilder, contemplating retirement because I don't want to see him take any more damage.
Yeah,
He's taken a lot. Zhang would love to see
yeah,
a Parker Zhang.
mm,
What's got you
yeah.
most excited about what this could set up?
Man,
From all of this.
I'm actually excited for what's next for AJ. I think AJ is ready to go again. Right? If they want him to fight again, AJ said I think he wanted to fight two more times. So if you need to do that, he needs to fight soon. Yeah, I'm keen to see what's next for him. That's quite exciting for me. I'm excited to see how Parker fits into all of this, and I'm actually excited to see Dubois. I mean, he impressed me a lot in this last fight. Because I did think Ergovic will get the win. So yeah, so there's a few things coming out of this card, and it makes me all the more excited for the Bivol versus Better Bivol. That's the big one I'm looking forward to, man. In terms of boxing, that's the next big fight that I'm looking forward to. To be honest, like two guys in their prime, it is literally the definition of a unstoppable force and an immovable object. So I just can't wait to see that fight.
Yep, I'm looking forward to that as well. And like you said, I'm surprised that AJ might only want to fight two more times. That would be sad, in my opinion,
Oh,
because I
I feel
feel like
like for the
he's
year.
for the year. Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah, he's not going anywhere.
two more times this year. That's pushing it, man.
Yeah, I think that's pushing it.
That's
Yeah, I feel like we only get to see him maybe once. Because they all wanted to see the Fury versus AJ, right? I think everyone was expecting AJ Fury to win, and then they probably paused the rematch clause for a bit. They promised Usyk, "Oh, look, you'll get the winner." And so we're just going to do Wilder. So we're going to do Fury AJ, and then you can get the winner. But obviously, if Usyk had other plans. Oh,
yep, yep,
Usyk boxed beautifully, deserved winner.
yeah. Yeah, and also some other little tidbits of news that just come through with boxing. Tim Tszyu won't be able to,
Yep,
honor that fight that he had.
medic.
Yeah, due to the cut still hasn't fully
Yep.
healed in time. So wait to see him get back into it. Garcia, I would love to see a Garcia Haney rematch at some point,
Uh,
but you know,
That's become Hollywood, man. That fight as those two guys and the back and forth. I don't know what Garcia's doing. I love it though. Like it's not like he's yeah. It's just I don't know. But the fight was good though. So yeah, look. If there's one thing, if there's so much controversy, let's just do it again. That's it. That's all it is. Like let's do it again.
exactly,
So yeah,
yeah. If not Shakur Stevenson,
yeah.
is
Shakur's
waiting
in
there.
there. I think Shakur's wanting to fight Lomachenko. He's called out Lomachenko. Um, Yeah, man. And you see Usyk's acting in a movie. He's acting in an MMA movie. Um, he's acting with The Rock.
Nice,
So
nice as a
Rock's
villain.
he's just another fighter because it's a true story. It's an actual UFC fighter called Frank Kerr, and he used to be in the UFC ages ago, and The Rock's acting as him, and there was a Ukrainian fighter at the time who was also quite popular, and Usyk's acting as him.
Nice. Okay,
Yeah,
we'll see if
man, you
it's
got to see
better
that photo.
than Roadhouse.
Oh, you got to see that photo of Rock. Like he looks unrecognizable. I did not think it was Rock. That's how much they've done. Like all the makeup, and they've done a good job.
Yep, they have indeed, and yeah,
Yeah,
obviously, we've been sport recently, and yeah, thanks to the Sheik. our turkey, and
Yep.
and in terms of big fights recently, obviously we got this one, and then the Bud we had Bud Crawford,
Yep.
Errol
Crawford
Spence.
fight
That was
was
the
good.
one that the people really wanted to see.
Mhm.
My question to you and everyone listening in the comment: what is the next like generational mega fight that you hope gets made? Right, we got the Crawford Spence one. Like, what is it? Is it Fury AJ? Now that Wilder might be bowing out, like what is that next super thing?
I mean, for me, man, like I said it just before, it's the Bivol versus Better Beef. It's got the same aura as the Crawford versus Spence one going into that fight. We're truly going to find out who's that better boxer. Wouldn't say like a generational fight that I want to see, but this is a fight that I really, really would love to see. It's Canelo versus Benavidez. I would love to see that fight. There's a lot of bad blood there. All Mexican showdown, man. And you know how the Mexican boxers are. They don't need a fighter takes a step back. It's just going to be fireworks guaranteed. I think it's just politics in the background. That's all it is. So hopefully they can get over it and get that fight made. And then I'd like to see AJ fight for the undisputed title again at some point. Uh, but because I feel like he's proven himself. He's got some good wins. Maybe if he can get another win over someone like a Dubois or a Parker, that solidifies him as you know a good option to go for that title shot again.
Yeah, completely agree. And stay tuned for the latest to come: boxing, MMA, combat sports. Give us a like, and that's a tap with my guy DJ. I'm CT, and we'll see you on the next one, everyone. Peace.